This is Delaney Bauman and Amanda Mohan, and this is our dream classroom. A goal for our classroom would be to create a caring community of learners. According to Sue Bredekamp, a caring community of learners is a group or classroom in which children and adults engage in warm, positive relationships, treat each other with respect, and learn from and with each other. A belief in our classroom would be that every student is a gift and is capable of learning.
The physical setup and design of our classroom would be pretty unique as well. Our walls will be brightly colored with educational posters on the wall at eye level so the students can see them and use them. For example, we plan to have the alphabet along the perimeter of the room. As for the furniture, it'll be strategically placed so that it's spread out enough that the students have their own spaces, but also so the students are not able to run around the classroom. There will be twists and turns so that students must use their walking feet, which will create a safe and effective learning environment for our students. One belief that we have is communal supplies, including buckets of markers, crayons, colored pencils, lead pencils, erasers, pens, glue sticks, highlighters, paper, safety scissors, tape, etc. We believe this because economic status should not prohibit a child from having school supplies, and this ensures that all students will have access to supplies. Our classroom will utilize flexible seating. Flexible seating is a great choice for early childhood classrooms, especially with students that have ADHD, ADD, and other disorders or conditions that cause them not to be able to sit still or focus for long amounts of time. Flexible seating gives students the choices of where they want to sit. Some seating that we will have is regular chairs, yoga balls, cushions or mats on the ground, and standing tables. We plan to have areas designated for group work and individual work, and some areas that can function as both. According to Dr. Torin Mohanan at the University of North Carolina, given the premise that built environments enable and constrain certain modes of action and interaction, educational structures embody curricula and values by design. This just means that we want our classroom to feel open and like students have the choice in their education, and our flexible seating and classroom design will also incorporate this. Flexible seating is also great for students because research shows that having regular seating for children is bad for their health, especially their backs in this early stage of development. Our flexible seating will give them the opportunity to move around and pick their own seating in which they're comfortable learning in. This is the layout of our ideal classroom. As you can see, we have some tables put together for individual and group work in clusters. These will have flexible seating, and there will also be options as standing desks. We also have a blackboard that we can use to demonstrate new activities to our students. We also have a bookshelf that students can use on their own time to learn the lessons that we are teaching, and we plan to cycle in books that have to do with the current curriculum and the current subjects that we're learning about. As you can see, right next to the bookshelf is our communal supply area. And we also have a center for group work on mats on the floor. We believe this is the perfect setup for our classroom. It utilizes the most space, and it also creates a safe and functional environment for our students.
Our curriculum would be inspired by the Reggio Emilia approach, so that students have the opportunity to decide what they would like to learn. Grounded in social constructivism, the Reggio Emilia approach views children as the protagonists in their educational story, whereas teachers are facilitators of learning. For example, if students are showing interest in dinosaurs, we would orient our lesson plans around the Mesozoic era. We would learn about the dinosaurs and what they ate, which would incorporate food webs and chains, as well as teach students about carnivores, herbivores, and omnivores. We would learn about the climate of that time in science class, as well as draw the anatomy of animals in art.
One of our main teaching strategies that we plan to use is play-based learning. Play-based learning includes learning styles that incorporate the 12 features of play, which are using first-hand experiences, making up rules, making props, choosing to play, rehearsing the future, pretending, playing alone, playing together, having a personal agenda, being deeply involved, trying out recent learning, and coordinating ideas, feelings, and relationships for free play. We plan to incorporate this into our classroom through the students' decisions in their curriculum. Continuing with the example of dinosaurs, we would have dinosaur exhibits, displays, and toys such as puppets and figurines. These would lead the children to be able to play on their own and create their own story and learn the lessons in their own way. One way that we plan on using plan-based learning in our community is by using song and dance to incorporate into our lessons. Putting information to a catchy tune can help students remember the content, and adding physical movement enhances retention and can help hands-on learners really understand the material. One thing that we will definitely utilize in our classroom is Vygotsky's work in the zone of proximal development. The zone of proximal development is the idea that a student can learn a new skill with the help of a more advanced peer or trusted adult. For example, if we want our children to learn how to use scissors and glue correctly, we would first help guide them through the activity. This would be in their zone of proximal development. Once we help them through with the scissors and the glue and making their arts and crafts projects, they'll be able to learn how to do it on their own, which means they have surpassed the zone of proximal development, and this is now a skill that they can do.
Since our classroom is inspired by the Reggio Emilia approach, it would be teacher-guided, but student-led. Students would be able to pick the topics they want to learn about, and teachers would create lessons and activities that incorporate student interests, as well as include developmentally appropriate practices. In addition to this, our classroom would not utilize formal assessments. Common Core standards and the associated increased focus on formalized education in the academic disciplines stymie early childhood educators' use of developmentally appropriate practices for teaching young children. This means that standardized and formal testing hinders the academic growth of students and does not allow for organic learning. Instead of using standardized tests, we would use informal testing and student self-assessment to track our students' growth.
In conclusion, our classroom will have a focus on children-led learning. Children will have the freedom to make decisions throughout their lives, and we would like to start these decision-making processes in our early childhood classroom.